Even in heaven, no one gets promoted without volunteering first. When God said, "Whom shall I send?" 2 stepped forward and the rest remained seated. That pattern has not changed. The world still waits for you to raise your hand. Welcome back to Beyond 40 and Just Getting Started, the place where we dive into the journey of growth and abundance after 40. I find it telling that in that biblical story, that God didn't call on somebody in the audience and say, "Bob, you're a good guy. I know that you could do this. Will you step forward?" Instead, he selected from the people that volunteered. That's an important lesson for us in this life as well. That lesson I call picking up the scepter of authority of our own lives. In my false peak of Summit Acreage, recently I talked about onboarding an operations manager to help ensure that we're achieving the metric targets that we had set for ourselves. The original operations manager that I reached out to was a friend of mine who I was confident would fit the role beautifully. As I first explained the challenge to him, he was really excited and he was completely on board. As a little more time passed, however, and he gained more clarity of what the role would entail, he pretty quickly self-selected out of the opportunity, realizing that wasn't a role he was comfortable taking on. As I reflect back on how disheartening that was for me, I realized I made a flaw there. I chose him. Instead of just extending generically an opportunity and let somebody else step forward and say, "Hey, I'm interested. I want to take on that challenge," I instead targeted a person and invited them to take over that role. There's an important message here for all of us who are wanting to take more ownership of our own lives. And that message is that nobody else is going to tell you, "Hey, it's time, step up." If we're still sitting back waiting for somebody else to prompt us to own our own lives, our mind is still completely in the employee swimming pool. In my last corporate job, whenever I was involved in conversations regarding hiring or promoting an individual on the team, often the conversation was not about the skill set of the person, and it was more about, were they demonstrating the characteristics of a leader and of a topic owner? We were looking for people who were visibly displaying ownership, even when they hadn't been given the responsibility from the company specifically. In my early 20s, I had the privilege of working at a sheet metal manufacturer in their procurement department. I hired on as a young kid, not sure what I was doing, recognizing a lot of my own weaknesses and my own youth. Within a couple of years, however, I started realizing that it appeared the company was giving me opportunities to lead and own certain topics. It became clear to me that they saw in me a potential to take on a more leadership role in the future. Obviously, that opportunity excited me. Whenever anyone entrusts us with responsibility, it buoys our spirits and builds our self-confidence. Regretfully, I dashed that opportunity because every time the company gave me authority over a certain topic, because of my own insecurities, I went back with essentially every decision that I was trying to make and asked for approval on that decision. Pretty quickly, the company realized I was not the person that they wanted to fill that role. I was unable to stand on my own feet. I didn't choose myself. Let me share a secret with you that maybe you're not aware of yet. The authority of what you do with your life, of how you use your time, what you're qualified for or not qualified for, at the end of the day is completely your decision. For too long, I didn't realize that. I expected that I needed approval from somebody else. Because of the system that we've grown up in and that we've worked in for years, there's always some sort of approval level. There's a grade. There's a signature that we need to bless off a certain decision. That training can make us think for a moment that we need something external to give us the chance to leave the employee swimming pool and take a risk on ourselves. But that is not true. No external approval is ever coming, especially from a system that is designed to keep you within the system. If your goal is to escape the employee life, then you're never going to get that approval from people within the employee life. That approval has to come from you. You have the scepter of authority for your own life. For me, that was tremendously hard to realize. It was a hard pill to swallow when for so long I expected somebody else to tell me it's time. Go ahead and try. Instead, I just had to decide, you know what? No, I want it. Today's my day. I'm taking my own steps. Of course, that means I own the outcome, but that's exactly what I want in the prosperity pool. I know there's risk, but I also know there's unlimited upside. And I now have enough confidence in myself to know that while I may not be the best prosperity pool swimmer that has ever existed, I'm also confident enough I'm not gonna drown. So I'm willing to take that bet on myself. Really, it comes down to choosing for yourself. Choosing to own your own life, make your own choices, and be your own person. In the employee swimming pool, your ceiling is set by your employer. In the prosperity pool, your floor is set by yourself. So stop waiting to be chosen. Choose yourself, and then build the system that rewards you for it. Thanks for joining.